The sun was beginning to dip behind the trees, casting long shadows across a quiet suburban street. It was the kind of peaceful afternoon that made people slow down and appreciate the little things, unless, of course, you found yourself in an unexpected situation. On the side of the road stood an elderly woman, dressed elegantly but looking visibly concerned. Her futuristic car, a sleek Tesla Cybertruck, had come to a halt due to a flat tire. She glanced at her phone, debating whether to call for help. Despite her composed demeanor, there was a clear trace of unease on her face. Cars zipped by, but none stopped to offer assistance. A short distance away, a young man, 20 years old, tall and wearing a simple black t-shirt and sneakers, was riding his old bicycle home from a long day of work. His hands were calloused from the odd jobs he worked to help his family make ends meet. Despite his exhaustion, his sharp eyes caught sight of the woman standing by the side of the road. Slowing his bike, he paused for a moment to assess the situation. Something inside him wouldn't let him ride away. He had grown up believing that if you see someone in need, you lend a hand, no matter how small the act may seem. The boy pedaled closer, parked his bike, and approached the woman with a kind smile. "Excuse me, ma'am, do you need help?" he asked. His voice was calm and reassuring, though his appearance was modest. The woman looked at him, momentarily surprised. "Oh, thank goodness you stopped," she replied. "I think I have a flat tire, but I don't know how to fix it." The young man glanced at the tire, nodded confidently, and said, "No problem. I've got this. It'll only take a few minutes." Little did he know that this seemingly simple act of kindness was about to set off a chain of events that would change his life in ways he could never imagine. As the boy knelt down to inspect the tire, a conversation began between him and the woman. He told her about his day and how he worked hard to support his dreams of going to college, though he wasn't sure if he'd ever be able to afford it. The woman listened intently, moved by his honesty and humility. What neither of them realized at that moment was that this chance encounter wasn't just about fixing a flat tire. It was the beginning of something extraordinary, something that would remind us all of the transformative power of kindness. The young man wasted no time. He set his bicycle aside and crouched down beside the massive Cybertruck's flat tire. Though the vehicle was far more advanced than anything he was used to working with, his confidence didn't waver. The woman watched as he examined the tire, wiped his hands on his pants, and pulled a small tool set from the bag strapped to his bike. "Looks like it's just a puncture. I can patch it up for now, but you should get it checked properly later," he said with a calm, reassuring tone. The woman gave a relieved smile. "You seem to know what you're doing," she said, her voice tinged with gratitude. As the boy worked, they began to talk. She asked him his name and learned it was Michael. Michael told her he had grown up in the area, juggling multiple part-time jobs to support his family while trying to save for college. "It's been tough," he admitted, "but I'm not complaining. My mom always says you've got to focus on what you can do, not what you don't have." The woman listened intently, her eyes softening as she heard his story. She could tell that Michael wasn't just hardworking, he was kind-hearted, someone who genuinely cared about others. "And what do you want to study?" she asked. "Engineering," he replied, with a spark in his eyes. "I've always been fascinated by how things work, machines, technology. I want to build things that can make life easier for people. But college is expensive, so I'm taking things one day at a time." The conversation flowed naturally as Michael worked, occasionally joking to lighten the mood. "I've got to say," he quipped, "this car is way out of my league, but hey, a tire's a tire, right?" The woman laughed, appreciating his sense of humor and humility. In about 20 minutes, Michael finished the repair. He stood up, wiping the sweat from his forehead. "There you go," he said, gesturing toward the tire. "You're good to go now." The woman reached into her purse and offered him some cash as a token of appreciation. Michael hesitated before politely shaking his head. "Thank you, but I can't take it. I didn't do this for money, I just wanted to help." His words left the woman speechless. In a world often driven by self-interest, here was a young man who didn't expect anything in return for his kindness. She tucked the money back into her purse and gave him a warm smile instead. "You've got a good heart, Michael," she said. "The world needs more people like you." As she prepared to leave, she asked if there was any way she could stay in touch. "No need," Michael said with a shrug. "I'm just happy I could help." "You take care, ma'am." The woman watched him as he picked up his bike and rode off, his silhouette fading into the distance. She sat in her car for a moment, reflecting on what had just happened. Little did Michael know that his simple act of kindness had left a profound impression on her. As the Cybertruck rolled away, the woman made a phone call. On the other end of the line was her son. "You won't believe the young man I just met," she said. "He helped me when no one else did, and I think you'll want to hear about this." Michael, meanwhile, pedaled home, unaware that his life was about to take an unimaginable turn. Sometimes the smallest gestures of kindness have the power to set off extraordinary changes, and this was just the beginning. As the elderly woman drove away in her freshly repaired Cybertruck, she couldn't stop thinking about Michael. His story, his humility, and his genuine kindness had deeply moved her. In a world that often felt rushed and impersonal, meeting someone like him was a rare and beautiful experience. Later that evening, she arrived home and immediately picked up the phone to call her son. The call connected, and on the other end of the line was Elon Musk, one of the most recognizable names in the world. "Hi, Mom," Elon greeted warmly. "How was your day?" "Well, let me tell you," she began with a chuckle. "I had quite the adventure. My Cybertruck had a flat tire today." Elon, always one to worry about his mother, interjected, "Are you okay? Did someone help you?" "Yes, I'm fine," she reassured him. "But that's what I want to tell you about. A young man stopped to help me, no hesitation, no questions, just kindness. His name is Michael, and he's only 20 years old." Elon listened attentively as his mother recounted the story. She described how Michael had gone out of his way to fix the tire and how he had refused any payment for his help. But what struck her the most was his story, how he was working multiple jobs, helping his family, and saving for college to study engineering. "You should have seen him, Elon," she continued. "He's smart, humble, and has a heart of gold. He reminded me of you when you were his age, full of dreams and determination." Elon was silent for a moment, taking it all in. "Mom, it sounds like this young man deserves a break," he finally said. "Do you have any way to reach him?" "No," she admitted. "But I can describe him, and I know where I was when I met him. I'm sure we can find him." Hearing the determination in his mother's voice, Elon agreed. "Okay, let's make it happen. If he wants to be an engineer, we can help him. And anyone who treats you with that much kindness is someone I want to meet." For the next few days, Elon's team quietly worked to track Michael down. They reviewed nearby traffic camera footage, scoured social media for any mentions of the encounter, and reached out to local communities. Meanwhile, Michael continued his daily routine, completely unaware that the world's richest man was looking for him. Finally, after days of searching, they located him. Elon's mother smiled when she received the news. "He has no idea what's coming," she said with a glint of excitement in her eyes. Elon prepared to meet Michael, eager to reward the young man whose simple act of kindness had touched his mother's heart. This wasn't just about a flat tire, it was about recognizing someone who embodied the qualities that could change the world. For Michael, the next chapter of his life was about to begin, and it all started with one extraordinary phone call. Michael pedaled home that evening, unaware of the life-altering events that were unfolding because of his simple act of kindness. For him, it was just another day in his tough but determined life. At just 20 years old, Michael had faced more challenges than many experience in a lifetime. Growing up in a modest neighborhood, his family had always struggled to make ends meet. His mother worked tirelessly as a nurse, often pulling double shifts to keep food on the table and the lights on. His father, once a mechanic, had suffered an injury years ago that left him unable to work full-time. This left Michael as the family's anchor, taking on odd jobs to help support them. Despite the hardships, Michael was never bitter. He found joy in small things, spending time with his younger sister, tinkering with old electronics, and dreaming of a future where he could pursue his passion for engineering. But dreams felt like a luxury he couldn't afford. His weekdays started early, often with shifts at a local grocery store, followed by afternoons spent fixing bikes or helping neighbors with minor repairs. On weekends, he worked as a dishwasher at a diner. The pay was meager, but every dollar he earned went toward paying bills or saving for college. The few times he allowed himself to think about the future, it always felt just out of reach. The cost of tuition was staggering, and scholarships seemed impossible to secure, with his busy schedule leaving little time for academic achievements. Maybe next year, he'd tell himself, even though he wasn't sure how much longer he could put his dreams on hold. Michael's life wasn't just about financial struggles. The weight of responsibility often left him feeling isolated. While his peers were out enjoying life, he was busy working or worrying about how to make ends meet. Yet despite all of this, Michael never let his circumstances define him. He had a mantra his mother had taught him. Even when life feels heavy, kindness will always keep you light. It was this belief that drove him to help the elderly woman on the side of the road, even though he could have easily ridden past her without a second thought. But that day, as he patched up the tire, Michael felt a familiar pang of uncertainty. Would his hard work ever pay off? Would he ever get the chance to study engineering and build the future he dreamed of? Little did he know, the very act of kindness that had felt so ordinary to him was about to open doors he never thought possible. For now, though, he was just Michael, the boy with big dreams and even bigger responsibilities, pedaling home on his worn-out bike with a heart full of hope. He had no idea that the struggles he thought defined his life were about to be overshadowed by something extraordinary. A few days after Michael helped the elderly woman with her flat tire, he was going about his usual routine, completely unaware of the storm of excitement building behind the scenes. On this particular day, he was at home repairing an old toaster for a neighbor, seated at the small, cluttered workbench in the corner of his family's living room. The faint sounds of his younger sister giggling in the other room brought a smile to his face. Despite the challenges his family faced, these little moments of joy kept him going. As he was testing the toaster, a loud knock on the front door startled him. "I'll get it," he called, wiping his hands on his jeans before heading to the door. When he opened it, Michael froze in disbelief. Standing there, with his unmistakable presence and a small team behind him, was Elon Musk. Michael blinked, convinced for a moment that he was imagining things. Surely, this couldn't be real. "Michael," Elon said, extending his hand with a warm smile. Yeah, that's me," Michael stammered, shaking Elon's hand while his mind raced to process what was happening. "I've heard a lot about you," Elon said, his tone kind and genuine. "My mom told me about how you helped her out the other day. She was really moved by your kindness, and so am I. I wanted to meet you in person." Michael's family, now aware of the unexpected visitor, gathered behind him, equally stunned. His mother, still in her nursing scrubs, whispered, "Is that Elon Musk?" as she stood frozen in awe. Michael struggled to find the words. I just did what anyone would do," he finally said, his voice shaking. "Not everyone would stop and help a stranger, especially without expecting anything in return," Elon replied. "That's rare, and it speaks volumes about who you are. I want to thank you for what you did for my mom, and I also want to hear more about you, your dreams, your goals." Elon and his team were invited inside, where they sat down with Michael and his family. As Michael shared his story, Elon listened intently, nodding with understanding. He asked Michael about his passion for engineering, his challenges in affording college, and his vision for the future. When Michael finished, Elon leaned forward with a glint of excitement in his eyes. "You remind me a lot of myself at your age," he said. "Ambitious, hardworking, and curious about how the world works. I think someone like you deserves an opportunity to pursue your dreams. That's why I'm here." Michael's eyes widened as Elon continued, "I want to help you. Whether it's paying for college, connecting you with internships, or even bringing you on board to work with my teams, I'll make sure you have the resources to achieve your goals." For a moment, Michael was speechless. This was a dream come true, something he never thought would happen to someone like him. "I don't even know what to say," he finally whispered, his voice thick with emotion. "You don't have to say anything," Elon replied. "Just keep being the person you are, kind, hardworking, and genuine. The rest will fall into place." What began as an ordinary day for Michael had transformed into a moment he would remember forever. Elon Musk's visit wasn't just a thank you, it was the beginning of a future Michael had only dared to imagine. Just when Michael thought Elon Musk's surprise visit couldn't possibly get any more surreal, the moment took an even more extraordinary turn. After sitting and chatting with Michael and his family for what felt like hours, Elon stood up and gestured for everyone to join him outside. Curious and slightly nervous, Michael followed Elon to the driveway, his family trailing behind. Parked there was a sleek, futuristic-looking vehicle, Elon's personal Tesla. But beside it was something even more eye-catching, a brand-new Cybertruck. Elon turned to Michael with a grin. "Michael, I want to start by giving you this Cybertruck. It's yours now." Michael's jaw dropped as his eyes darted between Elon and the gleaming truck. "Wait, what? Are you serious?" he stammered, his voice barely above a whisper. "Absolutely," Elon replied. "I heard from my mom how you fixed your flat tire with nothing but a few tools and a lot of ingenuity. I thought you might like something a bit more advanced to work on and to get you around town. No more pedaling everywhere." Michael's family gasped in unison, their disbelief mirroring his own. I don't even have my driver's license yet," Michael admitted, his voice tinged with both excitement and embarrassment. Elon chuckled. "Then that's step one. I'll cover the cost of your lessons and license. Consider this an investment in your future." But Elon wasn't done yet. He pulled out a folder from his team and handed it to Michael. Inside this folder is something even more important. It's a fully funded scholarship to any engineering program of your choice. Whether you want to study at MIT, Stanford, or any other school, it's covered tuition, living expenses, everything. Michael's hands trembled as he opened the folder, scanning the documents inside. He looked up at Elon, his eyes brimming with tears. "I don't know how to thank you for this," he said, his voice cracking. "You've already done more than enough," Elon said sincerely. "Helping my mom wasn't just about fixing a tire. It was about showing the kind of character that makes the world better. We need people like you, Michael, and I want to make sure you have every opportunity to reach your full potential." Michael's mother, who had been silently wiping away tears, stepped forward and hugged her son tightly. "You've earned this," she whispered, her voice full of pride. "You deserve every bit of it." The neighbors, who had started gathering to see what all the commotion was about, erupted into applause when they saw what was happening. For Michael, this moment felt like a dream, and yet, it was real. Every bit of it. As the shock began to settle in, Michael realized that his life was about to change forever. No longer would he be weighed down by financial worries or the uncertainty of his future. He could finally pursue his dream of becoming an engineer, armed with the tools and resources to succeed. Elon clapped Michael on the back and smiled. "Now go out there and build something amazing," he said. And in that moment, Michael knew he would. In the months following Elon Musk's visit, Michael's life underwent a complete transformation. What had once seemed like an endless cycle of hard work and struggle was now a journey filled with hope, opportunity, and purpose. The first step of Michael's new life was learning to drive. Elon's team arranged for him to take professional driving lessons, and within weeks, Michael passed his test with flying colors. Driving the Cybertruck that had been gifted to him was an entirely surreal experience. Every time he got behind the wheel, he was reminded of how far he had come and how much further he could go. Next, Michael focused on his education. After careful consideration, he decided to enroll in a prestigious engineering program at Stanford University. Elon's team handled all the arrangements, ensuring that Michael's tuition, housing, and even his books were fully covered. When Michael arrived on campus, he felt a mixture of excitement and disbelief. Coming from a modest neighborhood, he had never imagined stepping foot into such a world-class institution, let alone as a student. Though the transition wasn't without challenges, Michael's determination and work ethic shone through. He poured himself into his studies, quickly becoming a standout student. Professors praised his ability to think critically and approach problems with creativity, skills he had honed over years of working with limited resources. Beyond academics, Michael found himself stepping into a new world of opportunities. Elon personally invited him to visit Tesla's headquarters, where he met engineers and innovators who were shaping the future. It was there that Michael had his first glimpse of what it meant to work on projects that could change the world. Back home, Michael's transformation inspired his family and community. Seeing one of their own achieve so much reminded everyone that kindness and hard work truly could open doors. Michael's younger sister began dreaming bigger for herself, while his mother finally felt the weight of their financial struggles lifting. What amazed Michael most, however, was how much he had grown personally. The shy, hard-working boy who once doubted his future was now a confident young man with a clear vision of his path. He realized that his act of kindness that day on the roadside hadn't just changed his life, it had unlocked his potential. Michael started to give back to his community, mentoring local kids and sharing his story to inspire others. He wanted everyone to know that, no matter their circumstances, their actions and character could lead to incredible opportunities. From repairing bikes and toasters to working with some of the greatest minds in engineering, Michael's journey was nothing short of extraordinary. As he walked the halls of Stanford and Tesla, he carried with him the same humility and kindness that had set everything in motion. His transformation wasn't just about success. It was about becoming the person he was always meant to be. Michael's journey is a testament to the power of kindness, hard work, and the life-changing impact of seizing an opportunity. What began as a simple act of generosity, helping a stranger on the side of the road, transformed not only Michael's life but also the lives of those around him. From struggling to make ends meet to attending one of the most prestigious universities in the world, Michael's story is proof that even the smallest actions can ripple outwards in extraordinary ways. As he navigated his new life, Michael stayed true to the values that had carried him through his struggles: humility, determination, and a belief in the importance of helping others. The boy who once doubted whether his dreams were even possible was now paving the way for others to dream big. His success wasn't just measured in academic achievements or the shiny Cybertruck parked in his driveway. It was in the hope and inspiration he gave to his community and beyond. Through his story, we're reminded that kindness is never wasted. It's a spark that can light up a path, not just for ourselves, but for others as well. Michael's act of stopping to help someone in need, despite his own challenges, brought him to the attention of one of the most influential people in the world. But it also showed the world what true character looks like: someone who gives without expecting anything in return. So what about you? Michael's story challenges us to think about the power of our own actions. If a single moment of kindness can change someone's life, what possibilities could unfold if we each made an effort to uplift those around us? Here's how Michael's journey continued to inspire not just his community but people around the world. After settling into life as a student at Stanford, Michael began excelling in ways that made headlines. His professors recognized his aptitude for innovation early on, and his story quickly became an example of perseverance and the unexpected rewards of compassion. Michael developed a knack for engineering solutions to everyday problems, often drawing on his experiences growing up with limited resources. In one of his first engineering projects, he worked with a team to design a cost-effective, modular system for purifying water in underdeveloped regions. Their invention was so impactful that it garnered the attention of environmental organizations and earned the team a prestigious award. Despite the growing recognition, Michael remained grounded. He often returned home to visit his family and to mentor local kids, encouraging them to dream big and reminding them that even small acts of kindness could lead to extraordinary opportunities. Meanwhile, Elon Musk stayed in touch with Michael, offering guidance and inviting him to participate in groundbreaking projects at Tesla and SpaceX. Michael jumped at the opportunity, balancing his studies with internships that allowed him to work alongside some of the brightest minds in the industry. One such project involved designing more efficient battery systems for Tesla vehicles. Michael's innovative thinking led to a significant breakthrough, further cementing his reputation as a rising star in engineering. His contributions even earned him a spot on Tesla's core engineering team after graduation. Back in his community, Michael's story sparked a wave of hope. Seeing someone from their neighborhood rise to such heights inspired others to pursue their goals with newfound determination. His younger sister, motivated by her brother's achievements, began excelling in her own studies and dreaming of a career in medicine. Michael also established a scholarship fund for underprivileged students aspiring to study science and engineering. With Elon's support, the fund grew quickly, enabling dozens of young people to access higher education and pursue their dreams. As his career progressed, Michael never lost sight of his ultimate goal: using technology to improve lives. His dedication and empathy continued to set him apart in an industry often driven by profit and competition. He remained a firm believer in the power of human connection, and he often spoke about how a simple act of kindness had changed the trajectory of his life. In one of his keynote speeches at a tech conference, Michael shared his story in detail for the first time. He spoke about the challenges he faced growing up, the values his mother instilled in him, and the pivotal moment when he decided to help a stranger in need. "That day, I didn't think about what I could gain," Michael told the audience. "I just wanted to help. But what I've learned is that kindness has a way of coming full circle. It opens doors you never even knew existed." The audience was moved to tears, and Michael's story became a viral sensation. People around the world were inspired to perform acts of kindness in their own lives, sharing their stories online using the hashtag #KindnessMatters. As Michael's influence grew, so did his responsibilities. He was eventually tasked with leading a major project at Tesla aimed at making electric vehicles more accessible to lower-income families. The initiative was a massive success, and it reaffirmed Michael's belief that technology could be a force for good. Years later, Michael reflected on his journey. He often thought back to that quiet suburban street where he had first met Elon Musk's mother. It amazed him how a simple decision to help someone had led to a chain of events that transformed his life. Looking out at the world he was helping to shape, Michael felt a deep sense of gratitude. He knew that none of it would have been possible without the values his mother had instilled in him: humility, perseverance, and the unwavering belief that kindness could change the world. Michael's journey serves as a reminder to us all. In a world that can often feel divided and disconnected, even the smallest acts of generosity and compassion can create ripples that extend far beyond what we can see. So the next time you see someone in need, remember Michael's story. You never know how one moment of kindness might change their life and yours. Michael's story continued to evolve in ways that surprised even him. As his career blossomed, he became more involved in social initiatives that combined technology and empathy. His work not only improved lives but also redefined how technology could address some of the world's most pressing challenges. One of his most ambitious projects came when Michael led a collaboration between Tesla and SpaceX to develop affordable, solar-powered housing solutions for disaster-prone areas. This innovative initiative provided sustainable homes to thousands of families who had lost everything to natural disasters. The project was hailed as a groundbreaking fusion of engineering and humanitarianism. Michael's relentless drive to give back extended beyond his professional life. He returned to his neighborhood frequently, investing in programs to help young people learn coding, robotics, and other STEM skills. These initiatives created a pipeline of talent from underprivileged communities, many of whom went on to pursue careers in technology and engineering. But Michael's journey was not without its challenges. Balancing a high-profile career with his personal values often required difficult decisions. Despite the pressures, he remained true to the principles that had guided him from the start. During one particularly reflective moment, Michael wrote a letter to his younger self. In it, he recounted the struggles he had faced growing up and the hope he had clung to, even when the odds seemed insurmountable. "Dear Michael," he wrote, "I know things feel impossible right now, but hold on. Your kindness and hard work will take you further than you ever dreamed. The challenges you face will shape you, and one day, you'll look back and realize they were the foundation for everything you've built." This letter became a source of inspiration for many, as Michael shared it publicly during a speech at a youth empowerment summit. The audience, filled with young people from diverse backgrounds, saw in Michael a living example of what was possible through resilience and kindness. As time went on, Michael's influence extended beyond the engineering world. He began writing about the lessons he had learned, publishing a memoir that became a bestseller. The book, titled The Ripple Effect: How Kindness Changed My Life and the World Around Me, detailed his incredible journey and emphasized the transformative power of compassion. Readers across the globe connected with Michael's story, sharing their own experiences of how small acts of kindness had changed their lives. The memoir sparked a movement, encouraging people to pay it forward and create ripples of positivity in their communities. Even with all his success, Michael remained deeply humble. He often credited his achievements to the people who had supported him along the way: his mother, his younger sister, and, of course, Elon Musk and his mother. To honor their impact, Michael launched an annual scholarship program in Elon's mother's name, designed to support young people who exhibited exceptional character and a commitment to helping others. Each recipient was chosen not just for their academic achievements but also for their dedication to making the world a better place. One evening, years after that fateful day on the roadside, Michael found himself back in the same neighborhood where his journey had begun. He stopped by the spot where he had met Elon's mother, reflecting on how much had changed since then. Standing there, he couldn't help but smile. The boy who had once doubted his future was now a man who had created opportunities for countless others. As he rode through the streets, he noticed familiar faces, neighbors, friends, and young people who had been inspired by his story. Each one represented a new ripple in the wave of kindness that had started with a flat tire. Looking up at the night sky, Michael felt a profound sense of gratitude. He knew that his journey was far from over, and he was eager to see where it would lead next. For him, the greatest reward wasn't the success he had achieved but the knowledge that he had made a difference in the lives of others. And so, Michael continued to build, innovate, and inspire. His story became a testament to the idea that no act of kindness is ever too small, and that even the simplest gestures can lead to extraordinary transformations. As Michael's journey progressed, his impact only deepened. His ability to balance cutting-edge innovation with heartfelt social contributions made him a beacon of hope for many. People from all walks of life reached out to him, sharing their gratitude and looking to him as a source of inspiration. Michael was not content with just personal success, he sought systemic change. Partnering with organizations across the globe, he worked to address broader societal issues such as climate change, education inequality, and technological accessibility. His work brought tangible improvements to underserved communities while pushing the boundaries of what was technologically possible. One of Michael's proudest accomplishments came when he launched a foundation dedicated to empowering young innovators. Named the Ripple Foundation in honor of his life's defining moment, the organization provided grants, mentorship, and resources to young people with big ideas but limited opportunities. Through the Ripple Foundation, Michael fostered a new generation of problem solvers who believed in the power of kindness and innovation. The foundation's projects ranged from developing sustainable agricultural systems in rural areas to creating educational technology for schools in developing countries. Despite his busy schedule, Michael remained deeply involved in the foundation's activities. He personally mentored many of the program's participants, taking time to listen to their dreams and challenges. His story resonated with them, and his genuine care made them feel seen and valued. Meanwhile, Michael's engineering career continued to soar. He became a leading figure at Tesla, contributing to groundbreaking advancements in renewable energy storage and autonomous transportation. His ideas were instrumental in making electric vehicles more affordable and accessible, bringing sustainable transportation to millions of people worldwide. At the same time, his collaborations with SpaceX allowed him to work on innovative solutions for space exploration. One project he led focused on developing modular habitats for Mars, ensuring that future colonies could be both sustainable and comfortable. These accomplishments brought Michael international recognition, but he always deflected the spotlight, emphasizing the teams and communities that had supported him. He believed that collaboration, rather than individual achievement, was the key to lasting change. As Michael's influence grew, so did the opportunities to share his message. He became a sought-after speaker, delivering talks at global summits, universities, and community centers. His speeches often revolved around the themes of resilience, kindness, and the importance of giving back. During one memorable address at the United Nations, Michael spoke about the interconnectedness of humanity. "Each of us has the power to create ripples of change," he said. "It doesn't take wealth, fame, or a grand gesture. It starts with simple acts of kindness. Those ripples can grow into waves that transform lives and communities." The speech received a standing ovation and was widely shared online, further amplifying Michael's message. Back at home, Michael's family continued to be a pillar of his life. His mother, who had been his greatest supporter from the beginning, finally retired from her demanding nursing job. She spent her days volunteering and enjoying the fruits of the sacrifices she had made for her children. Michael's younger sister followed in his footsteps, becoming a trailblazer in her own right. Inspired by her brother's determination, she pursued a career in medicine and eventually opened a clinic that provided affordable healthcare to underserved communities. As for Elon Musk, he remained a mentor and friend to Michael. Their relationship, built on mutual respect and shared values, exemplified how acts of kindness can forge lasting bonds. Elon often joked that Michael had become so successful that he might someday surpass him in influence, a testament to the younger man's incredible journey. Michael's life came full circle when he was invited to speak at his former high school. Standing before a crowd of students who were once in his shoes, he shared the lessons he had learned. "It doesn't matter where you start," he told them. "What matters is how you show up for others and for yourself. Never underestimate the power of your actions, no matter how small they may seem." The applause that followed was deafening, and Michael left the stage feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. He knew that somewhere in that audience was another young person who might one day create ripples of their own. Even as Michael reached new heights, he never stopped growing. His life was a testament to the idea that success isn't a destination but a journey, one built on kindness, perseverance, and the unwavering belief in the potential of every individual. And so, Michael continued his work, driven by the same principles that had guided him from the start. His story became a symbol of hope, reminding the world that even the smallest acts of kindness can lead to extraordinary outcomes. The ripples he created touched countless lives, proving that when we lift each other up, there's no limit to what we can achieve together. Years passed, and Michael's story became part of a global narrative celebrating resilience, compassion, and innovation. His influence extended across continents, touching the lives of individuals and communities in ways he never thought possible. One of the most significant chapters of Michael's life came when he decided to take the Ripple Foundation to an international scale. Through partnerships with world governments, NGOs, and private enterprises, the foundation expanded its mission, focusing on education, renewable energy, and accessible healthcare for impoverished regions. Michael spearheaded a project called Light for All, which developed affordable solar kits for communities without electricity. These kits provided lighting, charging stations, and basic power for schools and homes, transforming the quality of life in remote areas. The project was so successful that it earned recognition from humanitarian organizations worldwide, and Michael was invited to receive a prestigious Global Innovation Award. Despite his growing prominence, Michael remained approachable and deeply connected to the people he served. He frequently visited project sites, meeting with families and communities to understand their needs firsthand. These visits reinforced his commitment to using technology as a tool for good, and he often spoke about the importance of grounding innovation in empathy. Michael also made strides in addressing the global education gap. The Ripple Foundation introduced mobile learning hubs, buses equipped with high-tech classrooms that traveled to underserved areas. These hubs offered free courses in math, science, and engineering, inspiring young minds to dream bigger. One memorable moment during the program occurred when a young girl from a rural village approached Michael, clutching a model of a solar-powered water pump she had built using materials provided by the mobile hub. With a bright smile, she told him, "I want to be an engineer like you someday." Michael's heart swelled with pride as he replied, "You're already on your way. Keep building, keep dreaming, and don't let anything stop you." Moments like these reminded Michael why he had worked so tirelessly to create opportunities for others. Meanwhile, his work at Tesla and SpaceX continued to redefine what was possible in engineering. One of his crowning achievements was leading the development of a revolutionary energy storage system that integrated seamlessly with both residential and commercial power grids. This innovation not only advanced renewable energy adoption but also brought affordable energy solutions to millions of people worldwide. At SpaceX, Michael played a key role in designing sustainable technologies for interplanetary exploration. His team developed modular systems that allowed for easier construction of habitats on Mars, pushing humanity closer to becoming a multiplanetary species. Throughout his professional achievements, Michael's character never wavered. He was known for his humility, often crediting his teams and collaborators for the success of their projects. In meetings, he listened more than he spoke, and his leadership style was rooted in encouragement and mutual respect. As Michael's legacy grew, so did the stories of those he had inspired. A young engineer in Kenya credited the Ripple Foundation for giving him the tools to design a low-cost irrigation system that transformed his community's agriculture. A student in Brazil who had attended a mobile learning hub went on to study engineering and eventually founded a startup that created eco-friendly building materials. These stories were proof that Michael's impact was not just his own, it had multiplied through the countless lives he had touched. But Michael's personal life also flourished. He married a fellow engineer he had met during one of his humanitarian projects. Together, they shared a passion for using technology to improve lives and often collaborated on projects through the Ripple Foundation. They built a family rooted in love, kindness, and a shared commitment to making the world a better place. One of the most profound moments of Michael's journey occurred during a reunion with Elon Musk's mother. She had followed Michael's progress over the years and remained a cherished mentor and friend. "You've exceeded every expectation I ever had for you," she told him with a warm smile. Michael shook his head. "I owe so much of this to you. You gave me a chance when I least expected it." She placed a hand on his shoulder. "You earned it, Michael. Every bit of it. Never forget that." Their conversation reaffirmed the transformative power of their initial encounter. It was a reminder that a single moment of kindness could set off a ripple effect that spanned the globe. In his later years, Michael began writing extensively about the lessons he had learned. His books, essays, and speeches became a source of wisdom for future generations, encouraging them to approach life with compassion and a belief in the extraordinary potential of ordinary actions. When asked what he considered his greatest achievement, Michael always returned to the same answer: "It's not the technology I've built or the awards I've won. It's the lives I've had the privilege to touch. That's what matters most." Michael's life came to symbolize the best of what humanity could achieve when driven by kindness and determination. From a humble act of helping a stranger on the roadside to reshaping industries and uplifting communities worldwide, his story proved that no dream is too big and no action too small to make a difference. And as Michael looked back on his incredible journey, he knew one thing for certain: the ripples of kindness he had set into motion would continue to grow, inspiring generations to come. As the ripples of Michael's story continued to expand, his influence became a cornerstone in reshaping how society viewed the intersections of compassion, innovation, and opportunity. Michael's life story began to appear in educational curricula, inspiring students globally to believe in the transformative power of kindness and perseverance. Educational institutions worldwide adopted his philosophy of kindness-driven innovation, incorporating it into leadership programs and STEM initiatives. Teachers used his journey as an example to motivate young minds, showing them that ingenuity paired with a strong moral compass could lead to extraordinary results. One remarkable moment came when a global summit on sustainable development awarded Michael a Lifetime Impact Award. Leaders from across the globe gathered to celebrate his achievements, and as he stood on stage to deliver his acceptance speech, Michael focused not on himself but on the people and values that had shaped his life. "This award is not for me," Michael began. "It is for every person who ever dared to dream, even when the odds seemed impossible. It's for every hand that reaches out to help another, for every heart that chooses to care when it could simply turn away. Let this moment remind us that the future belongs to those who build it with kindness." The standing ovation that followed was thunderous, not just because of his words but because of the legacy they represented. Michael's commitment to creating pathways for others had become a rallying cry for a better world. As time passed, Michael's endeavors expanded into areas he had only dreamed of during his early years. Through partnerships with international organizations, the Ripple Foundation launched a groundbreaking initiative called Tech for Humanity. This program aimed to bridge the digital divide, bringing internet access, technology training, and affordable devices to remote and underserved regions. Tech for Humanity became a global success, empowering millions to participate in the digital economy and education systems. Stories of transformation poured in: young entrepreneurs starting businesses, children accessing world-class education, and families staying connected despite geographic barriers. Michael also turned his attention to the environment, a cause close to his heart. Partnering with leading scientists and environmentalists, he led efforts to develop biodegradable materials for technology manufacturing, reducing electronic waste and its environmental footprint. His projects inspired a wave of sustainable practices within the tech industry. Despite his monumental achievements, Michael remained accessible to those around him. He continued to mentor young innovators, ensuring that his knowledge and experiences were shared widely. He believed that his success was not a result of individual brilliance but the collective support, collaboration, and kindness he had received throughout his life. One evening, as he sat with his family in their home, Michael's young son asked, "Dad, what made you want to help that lady with her flat tire?" Michael smiled, his mind drifting back to that pivotal moment. "It wasn't about wanting anything," he replied. "It was about doing what felt right." Sometimes, helping someone isn't about what you'll gain, it's about being the kind of person who chooses to care. That's what your grandmother taught me, and it's a lesson that's guided me ever since. The conversation stayed with Michael, reinforcing his belief that the values instilled in us early on have the power to shape the world. He knew that his mother's wisdom and his upbringing had been the foundation for everything he had achieved. In his later years, Michael focused on writing and teaching. He became a professor at Stanford, returning to the institution that had once been the springboard for his dreams. His courses, centered around ethical engineering and social innovation, attracted students from around the globe. Michael's lectures were more than academic, they were a call to action. He urged his students to think beyond profits and patents, to design solutions that prioritized human well-being and environmental stewardship. Many of his protégés went on to lead initiatives that mirrored Michael's ethos, creating a new generation of changemakers. Reflecting on his life, Michael often returned to the spot where it all began. Standing on the side of that suburban road, he would smile as he remembered the day he met Elon Musk's mother. The lessons of that moment had stayed with him, the importance of seizing opportunities to help others, the unexpected ways those opportunities could grow, and the enduring impact of a single act of kindness. One day, as Michael stood there lost in thought, a young man on a bicycle stopped beside him. "Excuse me, sir," the boy said, "you look like you could use some help." Michael chuckled, recognizing the spark of compassion in the boy's eyes. "No, I'm all right," he replied, "but thank you for asking. Always remember, kindness goes a long way." The boy nodded, smiled, and pedaled away, leaving Michael with a profound sense of hope. The cycle of kindness had come full circle, and Michael knew it would continue far beyond him. As he walked back to his car, Michael felt a deep sense of peace. He had lived a life rooted in values that transcended material success. His legacy wasn't in the technologies he had built or the accolades he had received but in the lives he had touched and the ripples of kindness he had set in motion. Michael's story remains a testament to the extraordinary power of compassion. It reminds us that every act of generosity, no matter how small, has the potential to change the world. And so, his legacy endures, inspiring us all to build, dream, and lead with kindness in our hearts.